Hi you guys, it's Grace, and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. In normal Grace fashion, I am doing it well past the midpoint of the year. My life has been chaos lately. I'm very excited about the chaos that is my life right now because it's all good things. I've been staying busy with lots of stuff that I've been doing with friends and family, all the good people in my life. I also am gonna be moving. Literally 2 weeks from today. I've just been packing up and trying to get 80 different appointments done, and also making sure I have all of my pre-semester orientation stuff done and all of the pre-semester reading that is technically not required, but I like to feel prepared. It just tones my anxiety down a couple notches, so I've been trying to do that. I also am finishing up my job, so I have, I think, only 6 shifts left of my job, so that's crazy. I also have been doing some board and train. I am a dog trainer on the side. I move on August 1st. So excited. Oh, I forgot to tell you why I'm moving. So I'm going to grad school. I'm getting a Master of Fine Arts in writing, so I will be doing a teaching assistantship there, which I am super lucky and blessed to have a teaching assistantship. That's basically my life update. I'm gonna stop talking about that because I have book questions to talk about. But yeah, that's why I've been busy. My stickers. So in 2022, so far, I have read 26 books, which I can't say I'm super proud of it, but considering all of 2021, all of last year, I only read 24 books. I'm already at that point, and I'm only a little over halfway through the year. So I am technically 1 book behind at this point in the year. I think I'm doing pretty good, all things considered, but I recently discovered audiobooks, and that has helped a ton. So several of my most recent reads have all been audiobooks. It's nice to be able to listen to an audiobook while I'm doing something else. My average star rating is 3.51, which is significantly lower than previous years. So I just think that's really interesting to look at. I use Storygraph for this, but I might go through this in more detail at the end of the year because I do find it fascinating. The best book I have read so far is No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. It follows our main character Oba Yozo as he kind of portrays himself as this failure who doesn't fit into society and just feels ostracized by society. And he has so many interesting thoughts and perspectives in this book, and I just loved it. This book made me think for so long after I finished it. I still think about this book, and I finished it several months ago. So I definitely think that is a good characteristic of a book. Next up, we have the best sequel so far. This book has been out for a while, but it is Finale by Stephanie Garber. It was a great finale to the series, and I just really enjoyed it. I won't talk too much about it because it is a sequel, but if you haven't picked up the Caraval series, I would highly recommend. I really enjoyed it. The next question is, what is a new release that I haven't read yet? And I have probably 2 that I really want to get to before the end of the year, and that is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. The other one is Tokyo Dreaming by Emiko Jean. The next question was supposed to be my most anticipated release for the rest of the year, but so the book I originally had on this list was Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, because that had an original release date of November 1st or 2nd, I think, somewhere in there, and I checked, and now it has been pushed back to the end of January of next year, so I can't very well include that for my most anticipated release for the rest of the year. So now I'm looking for some recommendations. If you have any books that you're really excited about that are coming out in the end of 2022, let me know, and I would love to check them out. Number 5 is, what is your biggest disappointment of the year? I always feel bad talking about this, but for this one, I'm gonna go with All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. I expected to like this one because I have liked a lot of books that she has written, but this one just, it wasn't what I was looking for. It was a little bit too slow-paced. I didn't really connect to any of the characters, and I think it was because I listened to it via audiobook, so it was just so slow-paced, and I wasn't that interested in the plot that sometimes I would just zone out and miss entire chunks of what was happening, and that just made my comprehension of the plot, and the characters and all of that go downhill too, which I think just continued to decrease my enjoyment of the book. But that one was definitely a disappointment for me, unfortunately. Number 6 is the biggest surprise of the year. For this one, I'm going with Daughters of Sparta by Claire Haywood. I picked this up from a little free library in my neighborhood, and I didn't expect that much out of it. I was just like, oh yeah, free book, like it sounds interesting. I started reading it on the walk home. Like I was literally doing that like walk, stumble. Just kidding. I'm very good at reading and walking. I think it's from all the practice of going grocery shopping with my mom as a kid and refusing to put my book down while we were grocery shopping. So yeah, I read this on the walk back from the little free library, and basically that's what filled all of my free time for the rest of until I finished it. And I annotated it a lot because there were some really good points in it, and I just really enjoyed this one a lot more than I expected, especially considering I think this is the author's debut novel. All right, number 7 is who's your newest favorite author? This can be either new to you or debut author of the year. So Claire Haywood is one that I will definitely consider picking up books that she writes in the future, but I think my favorite new author that I've discovered this year is Colleen Hoover. I have been hearing things about her for several years, and I finally picked up my first book by her this year, which was It Ends With Us. I laughed so hard at points during that book. I almost cried several times. It was an emotional roller coaster, and it was just very fast-paced and fun. I listened to the audiobook, and I listened to certain parts during work, and I was... Anywho, I won't talk too much about that one, but very good one. Just check the content warnings before you start it because there is some pretty heavy stuff in that book. Number 8 and 9, I'm kind of combining them into one question. 8 is newest favorite character and 9 is newest fictional crush, and I'm combining them because for this one I'm going with Ethan Holstrom from House of Sky and Breath. I really liked his character in the first book, but in this book I just fell in love with him as a character. I crush on him a little bit. It's like one of those situations where he's simultaneously, you want to just be with him, you also want to be him, and yet at the same time he's also your child and you want to just protect him. It's a very weird situation. No one said readers are normal. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and for this one I'm going with My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. That is such a mouthful. By Fredrik Backman. It's also very cute though, and wholesome and whimsical. It did make me cry. I was bawling. I was reading it out in my backyard, and there were probably 2 or 3 points in this book that tears were literally streaming down my face. Like usually books will make me like tear up or like maybe shed a single tear. I was bawling. It was embarrassing, but it was also like very fun. And if a book can make you feel on that scale, I think that is a testament to the author's writing. So beautiful book. It was also translated from Swedish, I believe. Translated by Henning Koch. Basically, this follows our main character, Elsa, and she is 8, or 7. She's 7, almost 8. And her grandmother is sick, so in the beginning of this book, her grandmother passes away, and throughout the story, her grandmother is sending her on this, like, quest to protect the castle, which is what she calls the place they live. So she ends up interacting with all of their neighbors in the place that they live and delivering these letters from her grandmother, where her grandmother basically apologizes for things, hence the title. And it was just really cute. I loved the relationships that Elsa built with the other characters in this story. I just adored all of them. It was so wholesome. I really enjoyed this book. Next up, we have a book that made you happy on the other side of the coin, and for that I chose What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I read this book when I was just in the mood for a fluffy, cute contemporary, and this one definitely fit the bill. It was super cute, a very cute relationship, and I just loved the characters. This one follows our main characters, Arthur and Ben, and they end up meeting at a post office and kind of just spend the book getting to know each other a little better. So this was very cute. Definitely made me smile and just kind of feel giddy and happy while I was reading it. What is the most beautiful book that you have purchased or received this year? And I chose 2 for this one. My favorite cover is The Phone Booth at the Edge of the World. The only problem is when I got my copy from Book Outlet, it was kind of like bent and ripped a little bit, which I'm very sad about because it is such a pretty cover and I would love to display it like front out because it's so peaceful and pretty and just like simple in its beauty, but my OCD doesn't like that, so it stays hidden. So yeah, the other book honorable mention I have is The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. I just think this one is the epitome of like dark academia vibes, and I haven't read this one yet, but I am so excited, and this cover is just stunning, and I like the back too. It's just like very minimalistic. Now we're moving on to question number 13, the big one. What are the books that you want to read before the end of 2022? I hate this question. I think it's because it forces me to put into perspective how many books I still want to read before the end of 2022. So I decided to simplify things a little bit. I created a TBR list for myself that I would like to complete before I move. And that was supposed to make me feel better about myself until I realized that this is the stack of books I came up with and I move in 2 weeks. I think I would have to finish literally almost a book a day. Yeah, there's 11 books in this stack. I better get busy. That's Lord of the Flies by William Golding. And then I have H2O by Virginia Bergen. Then I have 4 by Veronica Roth. And then I have Magonia. Look at this beautiful cover. Then I have Afterlife by Julia Alvarez. Then we have The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. Then I have Catching Stars by Kayla Keenan. Then I have Nixia by Scott Reintgen. And then I have 2 books that I have the first and second books of. First is Dream a Little Dream by Kirsten Gear. And lastly is Reign of Shadows by Sophie Jordan. That is the end of my mid-year book freakout tag. I hope it wasn't too disastrous and crazy, but yeah, that's my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like this video if you did. Comment below what books you have read and are looking forward to reading in the year 2022, and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. See you next time. Bye!